What is up, guys? We've had so much news going down these last couple of days with the NBA, injuries, firings, all NBA team announced, rookie of the year announced. It's just been crazy these last couple of days. And let's just start off with the firing of some head coaches. Stan Van Gundy, he's out of the Pelicans. Don't know why he got the job in the first place. The roster construction was fucking retarded. I have no idea why they thought adding Steven Adams to that team was going to be good. They needed to have another center who can move out of the way and let Zion attack the paint. Eric Bledsoe didn't work with the Bucks. Could not shoot. For some reason, they said, "Yeah, this is who we need," paired with Zion Williamson. And once it didn't work, they found out, oh, the X's and O's didn't work because the roster construction was terrible. And then they figured out getting a coach who's not from this era also didn't work out because he didn't mesh well with the players, especially younger players. Even JJ Redick, people thought he was joking at first. Even he wasn't excited. I guess now we know that, yeah, he legit just did not want Stan Van Gundy as his coach. And then we also get to Scott Brooks. Scott Brooks literally only had a job because he had a relationship with Russell Westbrook and KD. That's it. Never should have had this job in the first place. But he got it because Kevin Durant and Westbrook carried him, and now he's out of a job. But apparently they didn't fire him. His contract just ran up, and they decided mutually not to renew it. You know how it goes. Then we get to a coach who should be fired in fucking Mike Budenholzer. I just don't know where to begin with this man. Somehow the Bucks lost to the Nets despite having like a 15-point lead or a 17-point lead, despite them not having Kyrie and James Harden playing with one leg and pretty much being a liability on the court, they somehow lost that game. Somehow. Kevin Durant had a great game, a classic game. This is probably going to be the greatest game in his career. This is probably going to be a defining moment in his career when people look back at what Kevin Durant did. They're probably going to look back at this game and talk about this is his legacy defining moment. And in that legacy defining moment, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a defensive player of the year, an all-NBA first team performer, was not on him. Now understand that you may not want your best player consistently guarding the other team's best player because you don't want him to wear down, pick up fouls. But you think in a crucial game like this where you can steal game 5 while the other team is weakened and then get an elimination game on your home court the very next game, you would at least say, yo, Kevin Durant is hot. Let me put my best player on him just to cool him down a little bit. Because if they just stopped Kevin Durant just a tad bit, just slowed him down just a very little bit, bring him from 55 to 50, they would have won that game. They would have won that game comfortably, had momentum, 3 straight wins, going back to Milwaukee, looking to put the nail in the coffin. But no, here they are, going back home, playing with their season on the line. To a team that was not fully healthy, they still lost to. Mike Budenholzer, for some reason, he just does not make adjustments. I don't know what I expected. Because the same shit happened last year when they were playing Miami. Jimmy Butler was going off. Everyone's asking, why is the defensive player of the year not on Jimmy Butler? And here we are. Why is the defensive player of the year not on Kevin Durant? I don't know. I don't know what I expected. It took him like a whole fucking year to make the adjustments from the Miami series to the Miami series this year, where he's finally said, all right, Giannis, you can guard Jimmy Butler a little bit. And then we just got to talk about the offense. Like, Giannis has no bag. Stop giving him the ball at the top of the key and asking him to create. It does not work. He's not like that. We've seen it, bro. We've seen it with the Raptors, seen it with the Heat last year, and we're seeing it again. He has no bag. Don't give him the ball, bro. Let him use it as a pick and roll threat. Throw some lobs and get him deep in the post. He's not gonna score just like that at the top of the key consistently. Like if he goes downhill on a fast break, yeah, he can score that way. Half court setting, giving him the ball. No, he's not like that. He's not doing nothing with that. The Bucks are just a complete disappointment. They're the dumbest team I've ever seen. If Mike Budenholzer even wins a championship, he should still be fired just because how difficult he made this entire series be. Like refusing simple adjustments. Because that's the crazy part. These NBA coaches, they know basketball. They look at every single possibility, every single scenario, and somehow they still come to the conclusion that these obvious adjustments are not the correct one to do. They end this overthinking and be like, no, we're just going to stick to what we're doing. We're going to do this for whatever reason. Now, here they are. Mike Budenholzer is about to lose his job, hopefully. And the Bucks, maybe they win the series. Still a possibility. They're not out of it, but they're just not a threatening team. the East in general right now is not looking very threatening. If the Nets aren't healthy, the Sixers, holy shit. No, I don't know what the fuck's up with the Sixers. I mean, I know what's up with the Sixers, but and then you have the Hawks. No one's scared of the Hawks. No disrespect to the Hawks. But speaking of the Sixers, Ben Simmons cannot play playoff basketball. Not at all. He's just a complete liability. He cannot play in the end of games because he cannot space the floor at all. So that means they can just leave him wide fucking open. And if he even touches the ball, he's going to get hacked and sent to the line. He's just unplayable. He really just ruins the whole flow of basketball. They don't do a good enough. I mean, I don't know how they can hide him at this point. Like 4 of 14. His best skill is his ball handling, but you can't handle the balls. There's nothing they can even do to hide him. Ben Simmons literally just has to get better as a basketball player. It's absurd. There's no excuse for you being the number 1 overall pick. Like what, 4 years, 5 years into your NBA career? Haven't developed any offensive skill set, really, besides your passing. Still can't shoot. Can't hit free throws. Like, Ben Simmons needs to be traded. I don't know where you're going to trade him to. Who's really going to give you the premium assets you need to get a Ben Simmons? Because, again, skill set, very limited. Like, what teams that are championship, like, what teams would be interested in Ben Simmons? Because if you do trade Ben Simmons, it's probably going to have to be a 3-team deal where you trade him to, like, a young team. The young team trades, like, draft picks to the other team you get, they trade him to. So you can get, like, an actual quality starter for your championship run. Shout out to Seth Curry, though, because he was balling. Tobias Harris, what the fuck? 4 points? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on, that's just ridiculous. Ben and Toby literally combined for 12 points in a playoff game. Never seen some type of shit like that at home. Doc Rivers, I think Chris Broussard said this is like the 11th time his team blew like a 15-point lead in the playoffs. It's the most in like 25 years in NBA history for a coach. Most 3-1, like blown 3-1 leads in NBA history. This nigga is a habitual choker. He just does it habitually. If you play for a team with Doc Rivers, your team is going to choke. That's just it. I don't know what he says at halftime that just like ruins his team's flow, momentum. He's just gonna choke. Seen it too many times. He also should get fired. He cannot lead a championship team. I know he did it with the Celtics. Stacked ass roster. Just completely stacked. That's the only reason why. Get this nigga out of Philly too. And Ben Simmons. They need to go play with fucking Alfred Payne on the Shanghai Sharks next season. This shit is absurd. This shit is just ridiculous. Ben Simmons, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with him if they're going to win this series. He just cannot play basketball in any meaningful minutes at the end of the games. Neither can fucking Matisse Thybulle. He can't shoot either. I don't know how you have both of these guys on your roster. 2 guys who are just pure defensive threats. There's no offensive back whatsoever and expect to win a championship. Get these niggas out of here. They suck. But on an even worse note, the Phoenix Suns have lost Chris Paul for an unforeseen amount of time because this man is just unlucky. He has COVID. But luckily for them, I guess, but also unlucky for the rest of the NBA, Kawhi is also out indefinitely. And the Clippers currently have a 1-game lead and an opportunity to close this series out at home. If Paul George plays out of his mind again, plays great basketball, they could also get an opportunity to play the Suns while both teams are hampered and not to the fullest capabilities. I think that's the only positive if you're like the Suns or the Clippers. If you're the Clippers, that's even more of a positive because you know for a fact that you're playing the Suns. You know for a fact that they're also not 100%. But fortunate news is they feel that Kawhi might have a torn ACL, which is going to be devastating because that means he's probably going to be out for next season too. But I guess the Jazz now have an opportunity to make it to the finals. I think that was something nobody wanted. Nobody just wants to see the Jazz in the finals. It's not even because of the actual Jazz themselves. No one likes Utah. No one likes their fans. No one likes Rudy Gobert for some odd reason. Not even NBA players. But the NBA also announced their all-NBA teams. There's a lot of debate about who got snubbed. Every year there's debate about who got snubbed. It's a 15-man roster, basically. Not everyone's going to make it. Seen a lot of debate about Westbrook. The thing is with me, you can't have Beal and Westbrook both on the All NBA team. No way you have two All NBA players and they're an A seed. I don't even think they finished over 500. So it had to be one or the other. If you wanted Beal over Westbrook or Westbrook over Beal, that's your choice. You can debate that, but you can't tell me both of them deserve it. I think another snub was Jason Tatum. Let me look at this roster again to see who Jason Tatum would go over. All right, so the first team: Steph Curry, Luka, Kawhi, Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, LeBron, Julius Randle, Joel Embiid. Second team: Kyrie, Bradley Beal, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Rudy Gobert. Third team. So if you're Jason Tatum, maybe LeBron being second team's too high because of the amount of games he missed. Julius Randle definitely deserved his spot. Brought the Knicks to the 4th seed. Playoffs don't count for this. So maybe you're looking at what Paul George or Jimmy Butler. He deserves it over. Maybe Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler did miss games too. So maybe you could bring it over him. Who else could you bring it over? No one on the first team is making it over. So yeah, I think maybe Jimmy Butler would probably be the best choice if you want to put Jason Tatum on there. A lot of people said James Harden too. He also missed a lot of games. So I don't know, maybe a lot of these guys who people said should have made it, like Kevin Durant, stuff like that, they missed a lot of games. So it's hard to put them over certain players. But another debate was Luka versus Dame. I think they got it right. I think they had similar seasons, but I guess Luka's team was just a little bit better, so I guess that got him the edge. Plus, he has a lot more hype going on for him. So I guess Luka gets that edge over there. Jokic, obviously MVP, is going to be first team. Steph Curry, not in debate. Joel Embiid, second seed, obviously. And Rudy Gobert in at the third. Defensive player of the year. Big factor of this team that's first out west. If you're first out west, you're doing something right. Obviously, they're going to get it. Devin Booker. Who would Devin Booker go over to? That's interesting. Some people say Chris Paul should maybe be a little bit lower because his stats don't look good, but we all know Chris Paul impacts winning. Can't pretty much count him out for that. All defensive teams were also announced. Take a look at those. All right, so the first team, we got Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, and Ben Simmons. That seems about right. Second team, we have Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, Matisse Thybulle. And if I have to say anything, don't know if Kawhi belongs there. Kawhi's kind of taking a step back on defense. He doesn't put too much effort as he usually does. More focus on the offense end. I think if anyone gets out of that, it should definitely be Kawhi Leonard. A lot of people were upset that Miles Turner, who had an insane year, didn't make the all-defensive team. But again, injuries kind of messed him up. So he didn't get the trust. He didn't get the nod. Nerlens Noel only got one point. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He had a great season defensively. Led the Knicks to the 4th seed in terms of defense. I think they're like the 4th ranked defensive rating or 3rd. They're one of the top 5. They're a great defensive team. Also in NBA news, LaMelo Ball won Rookie of the Year over Anthony Edwards. This one I could see, or a lot of people are just confused by. Because again, if we're saying some All-NBA players, they can't make this because they didn't play so many games, but we're going to give it to LaMelo over Ant because, he did play very well when he was healthy, but he wasn't healthy a lot. He missed quite a few games. Anthony Edwards played all the games. Had over half his games, he scored over 20 points in majority of his games. He played really well too. But for looking at it just based off who was better when they were playing, I guess I'd give it to LaMelo. But Anthony Edwards did really step it up towards the end of the season. Plus, LaMelo's team was winning. They made it to a play-in spot. So I guess if you want to give him a nod, that's completely fine. But yeah, we had a lot of things going on to the NBA. Apparently, Zion's frustrated with the Pelicans looking like his family wants him to get out there, go to a different market. So be prepared to see all those swaps of him in Knicks jerseys and Heat jerseys. Shit happens. But that's all for today, guys. Hopefully this video will get up later today on June 17th. If not, June 18th, the morning of June 18th. Also, podcasts will be coming soon. Like I said, we have a couple of those episodes recorded. Just looking for them to be dropped. Don't really know when that's going to be the case, but they should be dropped coming up shortly. As always, it's Greg signing out.